The guest begins with a woman named Laura Peterson, who is mourning the death of her son, Caleb, a soldier who died in the war in Afghanistan. One day, a man named David Collins comes to visit her. He says he's a former U.S. Army sergeant and was friends with Caleb during the war. David tells Laura that Caleb had asked him to visit his family and tell them how much he loved them. Hearing this message makes Laura cry, but she thanks David for coming. She feels touched and invites him to stay at their home for as long as he wants. While Laura and David are talking, her daughter Anna comes downstairs to say goodbye before going to work. Laura introduces her to David before she leaves. Meanwhile, Caleb's younger brother Luke is still at school. Luke is a quiet boy who doesn't have many friends, and some students always pick on him. Before he leaves school that day, his bullies shove his face into a locker. When Luke gets home, David introduces himself as Caleb's friend and tries to talk to him. David notices the bruise on Luke's face and asks what happened, but Luke lies and says he got hurt while playing football. Not long after, Laura's husband Spencer comes home. Just like Laura, he's friendly toward David and lets him stay as long as he wants. That night, Spencer and David talk for a while, and Spencer mentions that he's having some problems at work. Somewhere else, Anna is hanging out with her boyfriend, Zeke. She tells him about David, the soldier staying at her house. The next day, Luke is surprised when David suddenly shows up to pick him up from school. David doesn't believe Luke's story about the bruise and asks him to point out who's been bullying him. Luke shows him the group of students who always give him trouble. Later that day, David and Luke follow the bullies to a bar. At first, David tries to embarrass them by buying the most expensive drinks for them. But the bullies pour their drinks on him, so David loses his temper and beats them up. He then uses his knowledge of the law, and a bit of bribery, to convince the bartender not to report what happened. Afterward, David tells Luke to never let anyone bully him again. Later, the story shifts to Anna and David going to a Halloween party at one of Anna's friends' houses. Anna introduces David to her boyfriend Zeke and her friends Kristen and Craig. David is polite and confident, so everyone likes him right away. During the party, Kristen's ex-boyfriend suddenly shows up and starts causing trouble because she doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. Seeing this, David steps in and fights the guy, easily taking him down and protecting Kristen. Kristen is impressed by how David protected her, so she takes him to her room and they end up sleeping together. After that, David goes to talk with Craig and asks where he can buy a gun. Craig is a bit confused and asks why he needs one. David casually says that he's a soldier and just likes guns. Craig tells him he knows someone who sells weapons and offers to introduce them, but he tells David to bring cash. After setting up the meeting, David and Anna head back home. On the way, Anna tells David she'll make a compilation CD for him since he seems to enjoy music. The next day, Anna overhears David talking on the phone and feels uneasy because his tone sounds suspicious. Starting to doubt him, she contacts a military base to confirm his identity. The military promises to check on him and report back soon. Later, a private company called KPG, led by Major Carver, learns about the situation. They quickly form a special team and head toward the Petersons' house. It turns out that the real David Collins actually died a long time ago, and the man living with the Peterson family is an imposter, but nobody knows what he truly wants. Meanwhile, David goes to meet the gun dealer Craig mentioned earlier. Craig joins him for the deal. The dealer shows David a few pistols and asks him to try them after David shows the money. But suddenly, David kills both the dealer and Craig, taking all the guns for himself. Elsewhere, Anna receives confirmation from the military base that the real David Collins is dead. Shocked, she immediately tells her parents, but they don't believe her story. Determined to prove it, Anna secretly steals David's phone and takes photos of the numbers he's been calling. Not long after, Anna gets a call from her boyfriend Zeke, who says that Craig has been murdered and he's being blamed for it. At the same time, Spencer's boss at work mysteriously dies, and Spencer gets promoted as a result. That night, during dinner, Anna tells her family that David isn't who he says he is. But David stays calm and manages to win over her parents again by acting kind and showing them his army ID necklace. Laura and Spencer believe him, leaving Anna frustrated and even more suspicious. The next morning, Anna drops Luke off at school and quietly asks him to find out what numbers David dialed from his phone. Meanwhile, David helps Laura hang laundry in the yard. While he steps inside the house to get more clothes, Major Carver and his team suddenly arrive and ask Laura about David's location. Laura tells them he's inside, but before they can move, David attacks. A violent shootout breaks out. Carver tries to protect Laura, but she runs back inside in panic. David gets shot in the thigh but quickly patches up the wound and kills all of Carver's men except Carver himself. He then finds Laura hiding in the kitchen. Scared and confused, she asks what's going on, but David doesn't answer. Realizing his identity has been exposed, he stabs Laura with a kitchen knife and escapes. While driving away, David crashes into another car, which turns out to be Spencer's. Spencer gets out, but before he can react, David shoots him in the head. Carver, who is still chasing David, later finds Spencer's body but not David. He borrows a passing driver's car and hurries to find Anna and Luke before David can reach them first. Carver picks up Anna from the restaurant where she works and tells her the terrible news: David has killed her parents. He explains that David was part of a secret military experiment and was programmed to eliminate anyone who might discover his true identity. Because of this, David can't control himself or stop killing, even if he wants to. Shocked and heartbroken, Anna calls her younger brother, Luke, who is busy preparing for a Halloween party at his school. Soon after Anna and Carver leave the restaurant, David arrives there. He questions Kristen about where Anna went, but when she seems suspicious, he shoots her and throws a grenade, blowing up the entire restaurant. David then drives straight to the school, planning to kill Luke. Meanwhile, Carver and Anna get there first and find Luke cleaning up a haunted house for the school party. Relieved that her brother is safe, Anna runs to hug him. But just then, all the lights suddenly go out, and loud music starts playing. It's the CD Anna made for David. That's when they realize David is already there, hunting them. The three try to escape through the dark maze of the haunted house, but David appears in front of them and kills Luke's teacher. Carver tells Anna and Luke to find another exit while he stays behind to fight David. However, David is too strong and kills Carver after a brutal fight. Anna and Luke reach an exit door, but it's locked with heavy chains, trapping them inside. Anna tells Luke to hide somewhere safe while she faces David alone. Luke hesitates, scared to leave her, but Anna tells him that David murdered their parents and she wants to end it herself. Luke finally agrees and hides, holding the knife that David once gave him for protection. When David finds Anna, she shoots him with Carver's gun, but he survives the shot, gets back up, and stabs her in the leg. She falls to the floor as David tries to strangle her. She fires again, but the gun misfires, hitting the lights and starting a fire in the room. Hearing his sister's screams, Luke rushes out of hiding to help her. He stabs David twice with a knife, forcing him to let go of Anna. Instead of getting angry, David smiles weakly and tells Luke he did the right thing. He even gives Luke a thumbs up before collapsing on the floor. Soon after, the police, firefighters, and paramedics arrive at the burning school. They find Anna and Luke and help them out safely, but both siblings are in shock after everything that's happened. As they sit together in the back of an ambulance, they overhear a firefighter saying that only 2 bodies were found inside the building. Confused, Anna looks around, and then freezes. Among the firefighters walking away, she notices one of them limping. When he turns his head, she realizes with horror that it's David, still alive and pretending to be one of the rescue team. Without anyone else noticing, David walks away from the scene, disappearing into the night.